Hello, welcome to another update. It is Saturday, June 18th. I believe it's about 7 days since I recorded the last one. Go take a look. So one thing you might notice is that it being only June 18th, and typically you would be planting pumpkins around the 1st for homegrown plants, June 1st. You may wonder why I got such an early start, because I started these about a month ago. Well, a lot of home growers will try to get their harvest date set just before Halloween. And I suppose that's to have the freshest possible pumpkins that they have to get them to last the longest on their porch. Typically, I would want my pumpkins around mid-September. So, indeed, I would be earlier than a lot of people, but still not this early. So what happened this time, that's a plastic pumpkin, by the way, behind that we were playing with. That's not a real pumpkin. So what happened this time is that I decided that I would like to try to create what's called an urban high-intensity farm. And in doing so, I had to make sure that not only that I had my harvest completed by early September so that I can get to work on selling them, but I also had to know my inventory as soon as possible. So pumpkins have no problem remaining fresh for months. So that's why I have so many, about 100, and that's why I've gotten them going so soon, so that I know exactly what I have come selling time, and I will have time to make my pitch to several different places, because one of the complications living in a bigger city is that you don't know who is responsible for their own inventory. Places like Safeway, they're not responsible for their inventory. They have forms that they fill out, goes to headquarters, headquarters decides what they're going to get. They can't buy a box of pumpkins and put them out front. There's just no paperwork for that. There's no computer trace for that, so they can't do it. And that means that I would have to work a little harder trying to find individuals to buy the pumpkin. Perhaps somebody selling at a farmer's market already, since I won't be able to get a permit until I make some money and save some money from my inventory. And if I display them in my own yard, I would actually have to have enough time for people to even notice it, since I'm not on a major street. I'm just off a major street, but I'm not on a major street. So one thing you'll notice from the last time is that I did put the supports up. We had one casualty, only one casualty. It was the Cinderella plant, center second row. It was too much pressure for the vine, so the vine at the growing end snapped. But there's still a few pumpkins growing from, here's the vine actually. I just removed it, the rest of it, before I started. The rest of the vine is growing just fine. There are several flowers yet to be opened on that vine, and there are a couple of secondary vines that I'm hoping will take over for it. Can I get a good shot? Yeah, you see there? Right there. That's where we tried to maneuver the vine, which is already up over the point where we need it to be, out of the way, and it just... So, poor thing. Got this flower going to be opening up tomorrow. And this one I showed you guys the last time. Now I'm not sure if it's alive or dead. So we'll just keep an eye on that. If it gets to be the size of a mini pumpkin, then I'll go ahead and make a hammock for it. Otherwise, it might just drop off, or I'll have to cut it off. There's one of them that has been fertilized right there for the Cinderella. And over here, this one that already has its hammock, I'll definitely have to make a new one for that. It's much bigger, almost the size of this dollar store fake pumpkin. Almost, not quite. It's beautiful too. You can see how much it's just stretched. A little bit of scarring up here from the vine because it has a lot of pricklies on it. I am getting a few more male flowers, but not as many as I would want. It's still a little difficult to scout out male flowers for the pumpkins that I know are going to be opening. This one right here, I don't know yet if it has been pollinated. I let that one go to the bees. So I'll be keeping an eye on that one. This one here looks like it'll probably be opening tomorrow. That's a jack. I actually have three jacks that will be opening tomorrow. Here's a better example of how to see how they'll be opening. If you look, all of a sudden the flower petals get huge and they flush slightly orange, and that's how you'll know that your flower is going to open the next day. If you want a comparison, let's see here. Right here, you can see still small, and the cap on top is still pretty much green. And if you touch it, it'll be a little firm too. Okay, we're gonna go over here for a moment. So, starting here on this row, we get the minis, and you can tell they're much smaller. There's two reasons for that. This area does not get enough sun. I know that, and I knew that when I put them in there. This one's doing really well for some reason though. So, I think this one, and I think that one is stunted. It just doesn't have enough sunlight to keep up its pace. However, this one right here, which is on a normal timetable, that June 1st timetable that I was talking about, I think that one, and this one over here with a male flower ready to open. What happened is that we were cleaning out the room last year around December, January, and the hoop house was still up in this exact spot. So we found a rotting mini pumpkin from the year before. So I just up and chucked it out here. And forgot about it, really. It didn't sprout. I kind of expected it to sprout with all the rain that we had in the winter, but nothing happened to it. So I just forgot about it. And when my husband ran the tiller through here, it seems that it pulled some of them underground just far enough for them to sprout. And so I've got maybe 6 of them that came out. Took me a while to figure out what they were. I kept pulling them because I thought they were just regular weeds. And I kept thinking, man, those look familiar. And you know how those squash sprouts look. And it's like, why does it look like they're squash sprouts? I've never had any seeds back here. All of them were transplants. And where is this coming up from? And so it finally clicked at where that was coming up from. So I went ahead and let them just do their thing. I wanted to see if they could grow wild. I don't know if I would get anything from them. I just wanted to see what would happen if I left them alone to do their own thing. So now there are several growing here. There's some in this line too, but the plants are a lot more healthier on this side. They get a bit more sun. So I don't know if they'll just be drowned out or something. I wanted to take a second look at these sweet falls over here again because I didn't see much on the internet about it, so I want to show you guys what my observations are. I don't know how many of you have grown melons, but if you look at this flower, this sweet fall female flower, that's kind of a bad angle. How can I get this? That's a better angle. It looks a lot more similar to a melon, like a honeydew melon, the flower. So as you can see right here where it sort of closes up a little bit and then the flower comes out of that. That's not what a pumpkin flower does. This over here, the other pumpkin flower, it's a pretty even teardrop shape. It doesn't suck in here. But this one, that's what a melon does. It'll close up and then it'll have the flower on top of it. So that's what to expect when you get a sweet fall squash. I don't know how many people carry that. I only found it on what's the name? Seed Saver Exchange. They only do heirloom squashes. Last time I called them a pumpkin. I'm pretty sure they're a squash though. So that's my report. I'll try to finalize this at every Saturday evening. Unless you guys think that would be too much, too boring, not enough to report. Then I can do it bi-weekly. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, weekly or bi-weekly. So I don't want to bore you guys too much. Have a nice day, and fall is only a little bit less than 100 days away. Let the countdown begin. Bye-bye.